Welcome to Empower You Crown Up, where we believe in empowering lives to live empowered each and every day. We empower minds to live empowered lives and just to live with the best state of empowerment that you can possibly be. So, today we're going to be talking about positive thinking versus negative thinking and just establishing the equilibrium that you need in your life. And so, really getting you to think about how your environment influences your behavior. So, as we think about environment and our behavior, a lot of times we just get up and we kind of go with the flow, and we don't realize our environment, it really influences us and who we are each and every day and things of that nature. And so when you think about yourself and where you are today and what you bring to the table and what is going on around you, I want you to take the time to think about what do you need to do differently. Okay, so if you haven't started following me yet, make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Empower the letter U underscore crown up. And again, that is Empower the letter U underscore crown up. So today we're going to be talking about that environment and your behavior and how it influences you each and every day. Positivity comes from within. No matter, I don't care how you slice and dice it, positivity comes from within. How many times have we been somewhere and people are just literally looking like they're just having a hard time? But not to say that they shouldn't look like that, because some people, they wear all their emotions on their face. Because I can tell you, in my role as a counselor, I meet so many different people and interact with so many people day to day. And it's hard sometimes to keep your face together because you're like, okay, wait a minute. Did you really just say it? Did it just come out your mouth? Okay. But we just keep going, right? But we realize the importance of filtering our mind, and just filtering those things that require our attention and what doesn't. But for many people, they're dealing with so much, especially in today's time. And so it's important to just take the time. You know, if you can give positivity, give it. If you can spread a smile, some type of joy, give it. The more you give, the more you shall receive. So the more happiness you give, the more smiles you give, guess what? You'll receive that in return. So when we think about positive thinking, how it comes from the inside out, it starts with our thoughts, because how you think about yourself is how you're going to be perceived. And so when you think positively about yourself, then that's going to translate into all areas of your life compared to thinking negatively about yourself. I know you might be saying to yourself, like, yeah, I know this. But it becomes subconscious. We do so many things with our subconscious mind, not even realizing how we really are thinking and how we're really talking about ourselves. And so that's why it's so important for you to say, you know what, I gotta change how I think about myself or how I talk to myself, because that self-talk is so important. I know there used to be a time when people would be like, oh, that's crazy to talk to yourself. But the reality of it is no, you're not crazy. You need to talk to yourself, because how many times will we look for others to validate us and, you know, tell us how great we are, when reality is we should be telling ourselves how great we are. It starts with us, okay? It starts with you. And so with that, we have to understand the power of positive thinking. It's just so powerful. And you have to understand that, you know, you have power. Everything you have, everything you need is within you. And so if your environment is not pushing you to be positive, pushing you to be happy, you got to make some changes. And those changes can be scary. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not, but those changes can be scary. But you have to think about the big picture, what it is that you really want. A lot of times people set their goals and then they decide to work backwards. So whatever works for you. So I want you to do an activity. With this activity, you're going to pay attention to the internal dialogue that you have with yourself when it comes to money, relationships, such as your partner, family, colleagues, your children, etc. I want you to think about your internal conversations about your career or your business, what it is that you do. And most importantly, I want you to think about those internal conversations that you have with yourself. So again, that's money, relationships with your partner, family, colleagues, children, your career, business, and yourself. And I want you to keep a note of these thoughts, you know, each and every day. And I want you to think about how that influences you in the now compared to how it influenced you in your childhood. Everybody's childhood journey is different. And I know for me, my childhood was a lot. It was a lot. And I endured a lot of mental and physical abuse and things of that nature. And so a lot of times you don't realize when you don't deal with those things, you find yourself, different people, same situation. And so at some point, you have to start to see yourself differently. And when you start to surround yourself around positive thinking, around people who want something out of life, and when you start to see yourself, and that's the real key, is seeing yourself. When you look in the mirror and you actually see yourself, and then you begin to see yourself the way that God sees you. Oh, wow. That's the key right there. Seeing yourself the way that God sees you. And that's one of the reasons why I created my Empower You Crown Up Inner Healing Workbook for women, moms, just to help, start the process of internal healing. Because a lot of times it's so hard out here. You don't know who you can trust. You don't know who to talk to. And I heard it once before with Pastor Mike. He was talking about how, he's also a recording artist, but Pastor Mike Jr., he was talking about how you have to see yourself. And we have to stop being so hard on ourselves. But it's the moment that you look in the mirror and you actually see yourself, that you are allowed to go to so many and reach so many different levels in your life. But you have to really, truly see yourself. And so with yourself, it starts with you. And it starts with going back to that childhood, even those painful moments, and creating the life that you truly desire in the now, but knowing that you have the power and everything that you desire to have, knowing that it's already inside of you. It is inside of you. Whatever you need, whatever you desire, it's already inside of you. And so the key is looking at those beliefs, looking at those judgments that you have, assessing them. Are the values that you have, are they true? Because when you start to see yourself the way that God sees you and see yourself the way that you really should be looking at yourself in the mirror, you got to ask yourself, is that mirror, is it clean? Is it blurry? What's on that mirror? What's on your mirror? What is preventing you from being able to see the real you? And then you got to start saying, how do I upgrade my thoughts? How do I think differently about myself and put myself in that positive realm? Because I tell a lot of my clients all the time that you attract what you desire, but you also attract where you are. And if you don't take the time to deal with yourself, we all know people who jump in and out of relationships. One minute they're here, next minute they're there, and they jump in and out of relationships. But the reality of it is you can't do that. It's time for you to be you. You have to be real, and you have to be yourself, and you have to do what you need to do for you. And so if you want to attract greatness, then you got to be it. It starts with you. If you want to attract love, you got to give that. If you want to attract more money, then guess what? You got to give more money. And, it's just like in the Bible days when, people would give, or, you give all that you have. It's different from that person who gives just a little bit of their millions and billions, right? Because God's looking at your heart. And so if you know that you are giving, and it is more than just money, giving love, giving peace, giving joy, whatever it is, give what you can, and you will receive on so many levels, whether it's from good health, just whatever you desire, you're going to receive that. And so it really just starts with adopting that positive attitude, and knowing that affects your interaction with the world and how you view others and things in your life. So we're going to go ahead and go to our commercial break. And then from there, we're going to go to the next level of wrapping things up, and just really figuring out the key to being able to just be happy internally. So hey moms, educators, and entrepreneurs, are you ready to feel empowered? I am Brittany Petty, and I am the founder of Empower You Crown Up, where we believe in empowering minds to live empowered lives. We've created mental health positivity boxes that are geared towards your self-care journey. One thing that sets me apart Outside of being a mom of four, international keynote speaker, and podcaster, that I'm also a licensed professional counselor. And I'm constantly in the trenches, working inside of the community worldwide to assess your mental health and your self-care needs. So make sure that you join the thousands of women who are moms, educators, and entrepreneurs who are taking a vow to prioritize their mental health today. And grab yourself a mental health, positivity, self-care box to start prioritizing you. Go to focusyoursuccess.com and grab your mental health, positivity, self-care box and take action on prioritizing you this day forward, because you deserve to take care of you and to feel empowered. You deserve it. Yes, you deserve to feel empowered. Yes. So, as we recap, I want to make sure that it's very important that we understand that you get to control your internal environment. You do it. You control how you wake up in the morning, how you feel. You have the chance to tell yourself, no, let me snap out of it. Because how many times will we say, oh, things just not going my way? Well, guess what? Things are not going your way. But I challenge you to always see the positive. Always see the positive, okay? Focus on the solution, what it is that you can do differently to create the life that you desire. Because remember, the power that you have is already inside of you. Everything that you need is inside of you, okay? Part of that is also focusing on what you have than what you'd rather have. And a lot of times it's based on how we look at the glass, right? Is it halfway full? Is it full? Or is it empty, right? Is it halfway full, close to the full, or is it empty? And so if you view it as empty, then guess what? That's what you think, right? And you got to work to change your thoughts and your opinions and things of that nature, okay? Knowing that you control how you talk to yourself, I think that is so important, because if you would look at yourself differently and control the way that you speak to you, then you're not going to allow other people to speak to you in that type of manner. And the reality of it is, when you deal with a lot of abuse and trauma and things of that nature, you get into a mindset of talking to yourself because you don't know anything different. But if you've experienced greatness and you know what it's like to talk to yourself in a clear manner and with the highest regard, then you're not going to allow someone to talk to you or treat you less than, right? And so that's where discernment comes from, as far as knowing your worth and knowing who to have in your circle. Are these people uplifting you? Or they push you to be the best version of yourself? But also, are you giving that in return? Also, it's something that I read is really good. It says positivity doesn't mean being foolishly over optimistic, that everything will turn out okay. It means taking the time to understand the how and the why you have the perception that you do of certain things in your life. And so it's important for us to understand and take accountability and look at our environment, look at our behaviors and how they relate to others. But we also have to know and understand the law of attraction, to know where you are in the now, do the work to heal yourself, and just be the best version of yourself. And so many times people are dealing with different things, dealing with different challenges, but they don't do the work. I mean, how many times we know people jump from relationship to relationship or do this and do that? And the key is that you have to do the healing and do the work in the now, so that way you can take on everything that this life has to offer, okay? And so you have the power to create the life that you desire. And I want you guys to start being more intentional of your environment and just knowing that you matter, and your internal conversations with yourself are so important. So if your conversations have been negative, I challenge you to change it to positive. If your conversations have been positive, then continue to do that and just spread positivity. Be the best version of yourself. So remember, Empower You Crowned Up is where we believe in empowering minds to live empowered lives. Take this day to enjoy each and every day, because we remember every day is a blessing to be alive and well. Make sure you do something today that just makes you happy, and focus more on what God says and not what other people are going to say. So are you pleasing God or are you pleasing man? And I challenge you to be the best version of yourself. Do what you got to do. Don't forget to get my inner healing workbook at focusyoursuccess.com. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for coming.